ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Challoner here for Forever Football DRFC, your Doncaster Rovers fan channel, and welcome to a DRFC Daily Reports, bringing you the latest news and rumours and headlines from Doncaster Rovers Football Club. Today we're going to be looking at January window, what's going to happen, what is expected to happen, what could and should happen in this window, regardless of who the new manager is. Now, before we get started, guys, make sure you do like the video if you loved it, comment down below your thoughts and opinions, subscribe if you are new around here, click notification bell so you never miss a YouTube video, and let's get straight into this one. So, let's get it underway. Now, January could be make or break, says the Free Press for Doncaster Rovers. Now, let's have a look in detail at the three key areas of the window for any club, never mind Rovers. Incomings, loanees, outgoings. So first of all, the signings. Now the Free Press are reporting it's unlikely there'll be too much variation in thinking of what the priority positions to which Rovers need to recruit, whoever the next manager or head coach will be. To survive, Rovers need goals and they need steel in the heart of the side, two aspects they've been woefully lacking in so far this term. It's understood the recruitment meeting has been exploring potential signings through the spine of the team, with funds available to add good quality players in each of the positions. But the priority must be in attacking areas and defensive midfield. Do not, and I repeat, do not leave it until deadline day. Get it done, get it over the line, get the quality in the club, convince them this is the right move at the right time. I don't give a flying one if Rotherham, Barnsley, Sheffield put in bids. Either side of Sheffield or Rotherham or Barnsley put in bids. Convince them of Rovers, get them in. Prove your talk, prove your ambition, back your club that you run. I'm saying this as a man who supports you. To turn round the doubters, to turn round the fans who've been on your back for years, owners, do this for me and do this for the people that have backed you every year. Back the man, get the quality, get the right players in that's going to get us out of this mess. So Welland identified the need for a no-nonsense blocker in the middle of the park in the summer, but wasn't able to recruit the individually deemed to be the sufficient quality. He wanted someone experienced, which could break up the play, keep things simple and move the ball on quickly to the more technically gifted players surrounding him in the midfield. Without such an individual, Rovers have been far too easy to play through at times and have lacked the nous to wrestle games back in their favour when the momentum has shifted to the opposition. Finding that player is arguably just as important as unearthing the striker that is going to fire Rovers to safety. But that is pretty much essential in itself. They are the lowest scorers in the division, and in fact we are actually, I think, 5th or 6th of the teams in all divisions in English football, especially the top 8 divisions in English football, to be the lowest scorers. I think we scored 13 goals this season. The lowest scorers, I believe, are Norwich on 8 in the Premier League. We're only 5 in front of them. That's not a lot, and there's only 4 clubs between us and Norwich. Not a lot. We've consistently failed to convert decent build-up play into real threat in front of goal. Spot on. The options at the manager's disposal have been minimal due to injuries, meaning the burden has fallen on the shoulders of very few players. A goal scorer is vital as Rovers look to claw their way out of trouble. The sort of player capable of the ruthlessness needed to make good periods of pressure count or dig a Rovers out of the hole. It's fair to say that whichever striker the manager has opted for, he has hardly received the sort of attacking support needed from those players immediately around him, either through injury or lack of form. And the overall attacking threat, therefore, would give Rovers a major shot in the arm. So a wide player or a more natural number 10 would be ideal, while there are other funds for multiple signings. Rowe performs well at number 10, but has always looked more effective arriving from deeper. Should his future not lie at left back, he would perhaps be suited to a more natural midfield position from which he can show his real threat. The left back position is another interesting one and will largely depend on whether the new man at the helm sees Rowe fitting in. Horton is improving with more game time, but there needs to be at least be covering the role if Rowe is to be based higher up the pitch. As mentioned, the recruitment team have been exploring options down the spine, including at centre half. This does not, on the face of it, appear to be a priority position, with Alo performing well. And of course, there was understood to be good news on John's recovery, and Roshan Williams on a similar trajectory with his comeback, could be returned to early training next month. So centre-back isn't the priority now. So there's plenty of options for the new gaffer to select from as Rovers enter the meat of the survival fight. Now, the Loanees. Now, this is where the report gets interesting. There are decisions which must be right with the loan players capable of driving Rovers on. The determination to keep Ethan Galbraith will be strong. There is no doubt be concerned that United may look to accelerate his learning elsewhere or look to make the deal more financially rewarding, but early signs of him remaining with Rovers are promising. That's a good sign that Galbraith's looking to stay. Now, these are the ones. Now, the indications are that Thiago Chaker and Rodrigo Vilca will not be staying with Rovers beyond January after a pair of disappointing spells. Now, with these two, maybe it is the right decision. Maybe it's right that Thiago Chaker and Rodrigo Vilca leave in January. Maybe it's the right decision. In fact, no, maybe it's not even a maybe at this point. People are going to comment now and say, why are you saying maybe? That this. It's not even a maybe anymore. I don't think they'd last till January, and I probably think that's the right decision, to be honest. I think Chaker needs to learn a bit more. I thought he was up for it. I thought he was up for men's senior football for the first time in his career. I think he just needs a little bit more learning. Vilca, again, just needs that little bit of learning, maybe further down the game, like a League 2 club or something like that, just to show those signs. The thing with Vilca, though, I think he's been technically, in terms of skill, I think he's been a decent player. He's, like I said, he's had flashes. It's just consistency and staying fit that's been the problem with Vilca. So maybe we can't really carry that sort of level of lacking in fitness from time to time around anymore. Maybe that's just it. But yeah, it looks like Chaker and Vilca are leaving after January. Looks like they're going back to their parent clubs. Now, in terms of the future of Dahlberg and Smith, it's unclear at this stage. Smith has done largely well, but the finances of the deal are understood to be on the more costly side for Rovers, and there will be consideration given to whether they can use the money more effectively elsewhere. So this is where football decision-making comes into it. This is where the head coach or manager and a director of football, not a head coach, director of football, or a manager and the rest of the board, director of football anyway, regardless if it's a manager or a head coach, director of football, get in that meeting, get it signed and done, get it in the recruitment meetings, get their opinions, get a real football opinion on it. Because we do not want to be making a mistake where it's too expensive to keep Matt Smith on loan. We send him back in January for Arsenal to do whatever he like with him. And we bring in someone permanently or on loan to the end of the season for 6 months or, you know, whatever. Or a free agent. And he's not as good as Matt Smith. We can't be dealing with that anymore. We can't. So this is where strategic football planning needs to happen. And this is going to be proof now of how much we're looking to change the football structure, how majorly we're looking to overhaul the football structure of the club. Because I've said this video after video after video recently. Even the Baldwin Outers, even a few of the Baldwin Outers have sat up, take notice and said to me, you know what, yeah, you might have a point. Football structure. If the football structure is not working, and we're still in a predicament where we're League 2, getting worse, then maybe we have to look at other options then. So this is a major make or break window for Rovers. This could be one of the make or break windows of this club to survive it, to keep it survive, to let it survive. This is it. So for me, this is make or break, and you've got to make the right football decisions, not business decisions, football decisions. Dahlberg's an interesting one, given the fact he's fallen down the pecking order behind Lewis Jones in recent weeks. The recruitment team and the new manager look set to have some leeway when it comes to the Loanees on the books for the second half of the season, so should be interesting. Now, during Wellins's tenure, there was set to be a decent amount of departures when players getting out the door, with two in particular, which we know are Omar Bogle and Ed Williams. But they have re-entered the setup, and with the squad ravaged by injuries, with raising funds through outgoings not essential for boosting the budget next month, the priority will not be to move on players. If, and again, this goes back to football decisions, if, let's say, for example, even though Galbraith is great to keep, let's say United recall Galbraith, let's say Arsenal recall Matt Smith, let's say maybe Bostock or Taylor or Anderson, any one of those or a couple of those or a multiple version of those leave the club or go for a fee. If we don't then, even just one of those players, let's take, I mean, he's probably injured, so it's not going to happen, but let's take Bostock, for example. If, say, for example, Bostock goes in January, if we don't reinvest the money we get for him, that's a very bad football decision, because it means we've got the squad one player lighter, and it means we've got lighter quality as well. Because Bostock on his day is a quality player. Let's say, for example, if John Taylor, who's just signed a long-term contract, goes for a nice sum of money to a higher League One club or a Championship club. If we don't reinvest in multiple players for a decent amount of money, again, very bad football decisions. We've got to make the right ones this time. So that's what's been said about January so far. Looks like Vilka and Chikera heading back. I mean, Vilka's injured, so who knows whether Chikera will play against, if the Sunderland game goes ahead, that is. If Chikera will play any part in that. If not, then the last game he was involved in could be his last game for Rovers. I've spoken to Thiago myself. He's a really nice lad. You know, if this is Thiago's ending at Doncaster Rovers, then, you know, best of luck in the future, Thiago. We might not have got the amount of goals that we'd have liked from you, but, you know, you're still a nice lad. You're still a nice guy. I'm sure you've got a bright future. Keep developing with Watford. Keep going through the motions with Watford. Keep going for it, and you'll get there. You're still in the under-21s, under-23s, whatever it is, under-21s, and you've represented Turkey under 21 level. That's still brilliant. So honestly, Thiago, keep your head up high. If this is the end of your Rovers career, keep your head up high. Head up high, man. Keep it up. I know you're watching, Thiago. Keep your head up. And, yeah, best of luck to you, mate. Same with you as well, Rodrigo. You are, in my heart, you'll always be the man who could have been Doncaster's Norberto Solano. You could have been the Norberto Solano. Injuries and inconsistency have cut that short, but, you know, there's no doubting you could be a good player in years to come. So, best of luck to Rodrigo, best of luck to Thiago if this is the end. If this is the end for Matt and Pontus, again, best of wishes again. Matt, you've been an excellent midfielder. Pontus, I will always call you the Swedish god, Pontus. If you go back in January, Pontus, or if you know, even if you go at the end of the season, you will always be the Swedish god. And hopefully, fingers crossed, Ethan Galbraith, this is not the last time we've heard from you either. In terms of what we look like from incomings, I mean, we pretty much need at least a player in every position, don't we? We pretty much need a player in every position at this rate. And whoever the new manager is, I mean, we'll see what happens. In terms of the latest manager odds, as when this is being recorded, Paul Simpson seems to be one of the favourites. In fact, I'm going to get the BetVictor odds now. I will have the odds somewhere on screen. But yeah, let's have a look at the odds. I need a drink after this. Yeah, looking at the odds. So, Paul Trollope is the new bookie's favourite. Why? I mean, people that know Paul Trollope's style of football, please let me know. Paul Simpson is second place on 3-1, as is Gary McSheffrey. Gary McSheffrey is a permanent, for me, like I said it before, that would be way too soon for him. I think him and Frank could be excellent managers for this club, but it's just way too soon, too early. Just a big job too early. Paul Simpson used to manage Calvert-Lewin in the England under-20s. Bristol City caretaker manager. He was the assistant manager to Steve McLaren at a couple of clubs, so would be an interesting step. Again, obviously there was rumours about Steve McLaren, about him being the director of football at the club. If Paul Simpson comes in, could that be a serious hint to Steve McLaren coming in? 2 and 2 together, I don't know. Paul Clement, 5-1. I think him as a head coach would be fantastic, or a manager would be fantastic. Been the assistant to Carlo Ancelotti at Bayern Munich and Real Madrid and Chelsea, and I think he could really kick his career on as a first team head coach or manager now, especially with the experience that he's gained at clubs like Derby and Reading and Swansea and Cercle Bruges in Belgium most recently as well. Mick McCarthy, 6-1. That's the name that's been propping up. Nigel Atkins, 12-1, along with Graham Coughlin, who's not on the list. Anthony Barry, 20-1 with Chris Hughton and Alex Neil. So again, those ones are pretty interesting. I don't think Chris Hughton will take the job though. Alex Neil, again, that might not be one to look out for. Anthony Barry, I said, could be a good one. I think him as a first team coach would be brilliant. So there's some interesting names there. I've literally just taken the top 10 or 12. That's basically what I've taken here with this one. But there we are, guys. Thank you very, very much. Make sure you do like the video, comment down below, subscribe if you're new around here, click the notification bell so you never miss a YouTube video. And for now, I'm Aaron Chandler from Forever Football DRFC. Keep living the Rovers life, and that, my friends, full time. Rovers side die. Thank you very much, and I will see you all for the next video soon. Fingers crossed, Sunderland game goes ahead. Please, Johnson. Please, Boris. Don't take away my happiness. Rovers!